Hi, I'm Dr. Sherry Popp with Weave Education. Welcome to Institutional Effectiveness Tips, where we'll share some short, practical tips to improve your assessment and accreditation work. Today, I'm going to talk about improving your critical thinking outcome statements. Writing critical thinking outcomes can be challenging, and often institutions or programs default to an outcome that sounds like this. Students will be able to demonstrate critical thinking. I'm going to explain why that's problematic, provide a few key questions you can ask yourself that will help clarify your outcome, and share a couple of examples of improved outcomes. First, outcomes are a part of an overall curriculum that should provide a framework for instruction. Instructional decisions should create opportunities to practice and eventually master knowledge, skills, or dispositions stated in the outcomes. A vague critical thinking outcome makes it challenging to make good instructional decisions. Second, learning outcome statements are intended to provide transparency to students. When we state clear learning outcomes, students know what is expected of them, and they are better able to gauge their own progress and make needed adjustments in order to meet those outcomes. Nobody likes shooting at an unknown or moving target. The bottom line is, stating that students will demonstrate critical thinking does not lend itself to a clear idea of how students will show their learning. A clearer outcome will not dictate a specific assessment measure, but it will point to the best ways for us to measure student learning. If you struggle to articulate critical thinking outcomes, it's helpful to ask yourself two questions. How do I or we define critical thinking in our discipline, and what should students be able to do to show that type of thinking? The first question will help make explicit the type of knowledge and skills students need to be successful in your field. My discipline is teacher preparation, and one way students need to demonstrate critical thinking in my field is to know a variety of strategies and then choose the most effective strategy to apply in a given situation. So my learning outcome becomes, students can choose and apply the best solution to a problem from among a range of possible solutions. That's an improved outcome, and it may actually apply to a number of disciplines. It's even easier for me to articulate when I think in the context of instructional decision-making or classroom management. That's where the second question comes in. How will students demonstrate this learning in a specific course or series of courses? For teacher preparation, a more specific outcome might say, student teachers will design and deliver lessons that use effective instructional strategies to meet the needs of diverse learners, or student teachers will apply effective classroom management techniques. These outcomes clarify the content and skills instructors will need to focus on in teacher preparation courses. They also point clearly to a few measures of student achievement, including written lesson plans, responses to case studies, and of course, observation of their skills in a classroom setting. And most importantly, these statements provide students with a clear idea of what they will know and be able to do at the completion of a course or program. Some other examples of critical thinking outcomes focused on creating innovative solutions, integrating resources, and collaborating with peers are included here. But remember, asking yourself two key questions will help you develop your own critical thinking outcomes. How do you define critical thinking in your discipline? And what should students be able to do to show that type of thinking? Improving your critical thinking learning outcome statements is just one of many tools you can use to improve student learning. Thanks for joining me for Institutional Effectiveness Tips. We'll see you next time.
Created using Powtoon.